I told you, I made a promise last time I did one of these reviews, and I'm sticking to it, whether I like it or not. Look, if you run a salon, you're busy. You've got better things to do than to spend your time endlessly Googling all the salon software options available to you. And you've got way better things to do than to spend hours on a phone call with a salesperson while they try and pitch you all their new best features. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Finding the right salon software to help you build revenue each month is a lot of work. And all that time spent researching is time that could be better spent on the things that actually matter in terms of growing your business. So let's save you some time and hopefully some money. Today we're reviewing Mindbody, the crispity, crunchity, peanut buttery old grandpa of the salon and spa software space. And boy, does it feel like it. Not the peanut buttery part, but the rest of it, yeah. Buckle up, because this is gonna be a bumpy one. Hey everyone, welcome back. If this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. My name's Cale Yanez. I'm a salon industry veteran and the newest addition here at the salonbusiness.com and YouTube channel, where we share with you the best tips, strategies, and reviews to help you get the most out of building your business. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell down below so you don't miss a single video. In the spirit of full transparency, the Salon Business is a subsidiary of Mangomint. That in no way affects our opinions or reviews, and any opinions expressed within this video are my own and reflect my experience both in and out of the salon. Alright, a little bit of background on Mindbody. Mindbody was actually originally founded in 1998 as Hardbody Software. That's right, this app might be older than you. It was then rebranded in 2001 to Mindbody. It was intended to be a software that was designed for fitness and wellness businesses, and as we'll see throughout the video, that's kind of a recurring theme with a lot of the features and options that they offer. Mindbody has since exploded in popularity, and since 2010, they've actually acquired a handful of new businesses, including ClassPass, FitMetrics, and Booker. Now, if you haven't caught our full review of Booker, make sure to check that out. I'll make sure to put a link in the time card up above so that you can check that out. And don't forget, we put together a list of all the best salon and spa software on the market right now. So if you want to see how Mindbody stacks up to the best of the best, make sure you check out that review. It's in the description below. You're gonna want to see what's out there because there's tons of options, and you might be surprised where Mindbody ended up. Even though they're both under the same roof, there are a lot of differences between Booker and Mindbody. And you'll see that today with some of the features that are on offer and some of the features that aren't exactly the same, as well as a very, very different looking interface between the two apps. Make your choice on which one you like better. I certainly have my preferences, but you'll see a lot more once we dive into the full review in just a little bit. In this video, I'll walk you through a full detailed tutorial and review of Mindbody. You'll get a chance to take a look at the features, the settings, and multiple options. I'll show you some tips and tricks along the way too, so that you can really get the most out of it if you decide to sign that contract and go with Mindbody. All right, we've done a few of these now, so I feel like it would be a good time to give you a little bit of insight into our review process so that you can get an idea of how we conduct these reviews and get some more perspective on exactly what our intent is. Our goal is to bring you the true customer experience. That means that I go through the entire sales pipeline process, which means 1, I schedule a demo call. 2, I spend 1 to 2 hours on a call with at least 1, sometimes more, sales reps who walk me through each aspect of the software, and I ask tons of questions to find out everything that I and you need to know about pricing, features, payroll, and everything else that we cover in our reviews. From there, if the salon software company offers a trial, I will then take a trial, typically 30 days, and test out the software. If they don't, I will then sign up for the software and try it out myself to do a full comprehensive review. Typically, I'll engage with their team several more times over the course of the following weeks to ask any remaining questions I have or follow up on any details that were unclear to me through the sales process. That means that the entire experience that I have is exactly the same as the customer experience that you would have with them. To them, I am just another potential business customer, a sale that they really want to make, so I can guarantee that you are getting the true, full customer experience from our reviews. I'm going to be fully honest with you about my experience with them and what I liked and didn't like. No fluff, Just the truth. Before we do dive in though, as with all of our salon software reviews, this is probably going to be a pretty long video, so I'll put timestamps in the description for every major topic that we talk about. That way, if you don't have time to watch the whole thing right now, you can skip around to the sections that you want. But if you want to know the full experience that you're going to get, I encourage you to watch the whole video when you have some time. And as usual, I will drop a link to the full written review that's live on the salonbusiness.com so that you can read everything there is to know about Mindbody and make a truly informed decision before you pull the trigger. You're going to want to know because there's a pretty big catch.
All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the Mindbody website now. This is the Mindbody Online homepage, the business page, and here we can see their core offerings that they have and some of the highlights of the software. So first and foremost here, the first option is to get a demo. As we will go into a little bit later in the video, the only way to get a look at the Mindbody software is to schedule a demo and speak with a Mindbody representative. There is no ability to sign up for a free trial on their website. There's no way to access the software at all unless you get a demo and sign up for a 12-month contract. So let's take a look at the page here and see what they've got to offer. First and foremost, a few of the advantages that they advertise here. The Mindbody Marketplace. This is the marketplace that's shared by both Mindbody and Booker, where they claim more than 2.4 million active users, and those users can search the marketplace for businesses that use either Mindbody or Booker software to run their business. So as a Mindbody customer or a Booker customer for that matter, you do get access to this tool. It is free to you to use within the software, and you can list your business with a Mindbody listing on the Mindbody Marketplace. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. There's also some AI features, which are definitely very popular with apps now, but Mindbody's specific AI tool is Messenger AI. So that is an AI-powered extension of their Messenger two-way messaging feature. Again, both of these are available on Booker as well, but they are, features that are created by Mindbody and usable through Mindbody. Now, Messenger and Messenger AI are tools that were previously known as Bowtie. So it is a technology that was built by another company and has been brought into the Mindbody fold, but can be used to two-way message with your clients through the Messenger feature, and then also can be used to respond to frequently asked questions and to even help you with scheduling through the Messenger AI feature. And you know what? Let's actually take a look at the Messenger AI features. Because we're using the starter plan in this demo, we won't be able to take a look at them within the software. So we'll take a look at their page here and see some of what they have to offer. So Messenger AI, like I mentioned, it is an AI tool that allows you to communicate with clients even when you're not in the salon by using what is essentially an AI virtual assistant or chatbot. This is it's potentially a really useful feature, especially if you're using it after hours to sort of field phone calls or respond to clients who are looking to maybe change an appointment or make other adjustments after hours, right? So in this case, we can see an example of a phone call coming in, then getting a response from the Messenger AI assistant, and the client responding with a request to book their session at a particular time. The AI assistant actually has the ability to offer an appointment slot and then ask if that appointment works for the client. The client can agree to that, and the AI assistant can go ahead and either automatically book that or flag a particular message for follow-up. It can also be used to contact members about particular, changes or events, that sort of thing. You can use this tool to essentially reach out to multiple clients' members at the same time, or mass text, that sort of thing, with important updates directly through the AI assistant, rather than having to do that on your own manually. You can also use it for follow-up after appointments. So your AI assistant can actually reach out to a client to ask how their appointment was. If the client responds positively, you can choose to maybe offer them a promotion or a membership, that sort of thing. You can also use it to encourage your clients to leave a review for you, for instance. So you can set it up to send a survey essentially. If the client responds that they were very satisfied, indicates that they were very satisfied, you can request that they leave a review on particular review sites, that sort of thing as well. So you can sort of use it to evolve your entire like client experience pipeline process and use it to your advantage to elevate your business in terms of your, the conversation around you online, or how your clients interact with you or your brand in other places that aren't just directly you. This is sort of a look at what the interface looks like within the Mindbody app. So you can see it's very common to essentially like an iMessage window, right? On like an iPad, something like that, where you've got a list of, message options right here, your inbox, your filters, that sort of thing. You can check a list of missed calls here at the top. You've got all of your conversations sort of listed in a ladder here in this left column, and then the actual chat pane window to the right. So this is sort of what the desktop experience would look like for you. And then you've also got a mobile experience here, what you would see as a business customer, how it would basically arrange this messages interface for you. You can also see what platform you're using to contact these people with. So whether that's, SMS messaging or, Facebook Messenger, that sort of thing. It'll give you a little icon here on the bottom right of the conversation to let you know what platform these chats are going through on the client's end. Now let's talk about some of the other features that are available here. Mindbody Capital is actually a financing platform that Mindbody has expanded into, and essentially it allows you to get flexible funding for your business, essentially a loan from Mindbody to help fund your business. There are more and more businesses that are getting into this element of, this side of the business. And as always, at the Salon Business, we simply recommend that you don't take on a loan that you cannot repay or at rates that are unreasonable to you. So if you are interested in taking on a capital loan, that is a possibility through Mindbody, through their capital platform. But as usual, just always only loan the money that you can afford to pay back with your business and make sense with your current revenue. Mindbody also owns ClassPass. So this is another application that they purchased a few years back. And essentially that offers members access to your classes and appointments if you do offer them through the app. ClassPass is a tool that's more so oriented to businesses that offer classes. So this is usually for businesses that offer like fitness courses or training, that kind of thing. It's less common for salons. It's not necessarily something that I see as a great value add for businesses that aren't doing, fitness oriented classes. But if you do teach maybe like haircutting courses, coloring courses, something like that in your salon that you offer to a broader community or to maybe, stylists and training, that kind of thing, it could be beneficial to use as well. So just something to keep in mind if you are interested in offering classes. Okay, and if we scroll down a little bit more here, we can see that Mindbody's making big claims here that you can grow your revenue by an average of 36% in 6 months, which is a quite an increase. Mindbody has plenty of tools that allow you to, like we saw, market your business on a marketplace or monetize classes that you offer. These are great tools and they can definitely help you grow your revenue. In this case, the data comes from a customer data survey that Mindbody conducted in 2021 and 2022. As always, we would recommend you take any claims like this with a grain of salt. They will obviously vary from business to business based on your needs, your size, your current status, that kind of thing. So while there is definitely some upside potentially to going with Mindbody, I wouldn't say to 100% expect that you will absolutely grow 36% in 6 months. Obviously, those numbers are ideal, but there is a possibility for growth there according to Mindbody's claims. And down here, we can see that there are some tools listed for different industries, fitness, beauty, wellness, that sort of thing. So we'll take a look at that a little bit more in detail. So if we scroll down a little bit further here, we can see that Mindbody is talking about their automations and integrated third-party tools. This is actually one of the upsides of Mindbody over, say, Booker, is that they have a vast partner library of third-party apps that can be integrated directly with the Mindbody software. This is an awesome way to, bring in other tools that you wish to tie into your software. If you want to use Groupon, if you want to use, for instance, some of their fitness apps like FitGrid or Spa Finder for spas, that kind of thing. There's definitely some opportunity for benefits here. A lot more upside for direct integrations than, its sister app Booker or some of the other apps that we've seen like Zenoti or Vagaro. So great to keep in mind here. There's a huge list that they have listed here in the partner store and the integration store, I should say. Everything from ADP to ActiveCampaign for email automation to Groupon. Definitely a lot of options for, marketing and other integrations with the software here. So great suite of tools to consider if you're considering Mindbody. And if we scroll down a little bit further here, we can see some of the brands that Mindbody powers, from Orange Theory to Drybar. There's definitely some notable names in there. A lot of them are larger businesses and chains. And if we scroll down further here, we can see how you can get in contact with Mindbody. So like I said earlier, the only way to get a look at the software itself is to schedule a demo. And right here is where you can schedule that demo. So if you fill in your information here on the page, you can submit a request for an appointment for a demo and be contacted by the Mindbody team to sort of schedule that. So this is basically just a process, an outreach process. You will enter their sales funnel essentially, and a salesperson will be in contact with you to schedule a demo. That demo will be with one of their sales team members to sort of vet you first. You'll probably receive a phone call, and then after that you'll be able to schedule a video call where you'll get on a Zoom call and a sales representative will show you elements of the Mindbody software live on the call. Aside from that call, there is no other way to really get a peek into the app until you sign that contract and make your first payment to start using it. All right, now let's actually take a look at the Mindbody mobile apps before we move forward here. The Mindbody Business app is Mindbody's mobile app for business owners, for stylists, for service providers. It can be used to view and manage appointments on the calendar. You can check clients in and out, create services, and many more features. It's available on iOS and Android. So let's take a look at the app reviews here on the Google Play Store first. We can see here that there's a 4.3 star rating with about 3,500 reviews, over 100,000 downloads. So quite a few instances of it out there. We can see that though the ratings appear really high on the surface overall here, even a cursory look through the reviews shows a lot of 1 and 2 star reviews. Now, I looked into this a bit because I was sort of confused. I saw a high overall score, but when I went and scrolled through, the many reviews that are on here, I came across primarily 1, 2, and 3 star reviews with the occasional 5 star. I also noticed that most of the poor reviews tend to be newer. So you'll see that everything from, like 2016, 2017 on starts to take a dive in terms of reviews, and you kind of have to go all the way back to earlier years, farther back than that, to find positive reviews in a lot of cases. Now, this may be just because, typically in the past, people were maybe a little more forgiving with apps and their functionality, or that maybe the app itself just wasn't as, didn't, or maybe just that the app didn't grow along with its customer base over time. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention that despite the overall high user score here, there are a ton of poor reviews with even just a quick look through. That's just on the Google Play Store. Let's take a look on the Apple Store and see what the reviews are here. Here we can see the overall rating is actually a 4.6 out of 5, which is, again, really high. 21,000 ratings on here. If we take a look at the first few reviews that are listed, again, we see a trend here where we've got quite a few 1 and 2 star reviews is the first thing we see. So if we dig a little bit deeper and just take a look at their sampling here, again, mostly 1 and 2 star reviews. So it's quite confusing to see, the overall rating score really high, but, the majority of the reviews that we can find whenever we do scroll through end up being really low. Now, the app is a bit less full featured than some of the other, like, more advanced mobile apps that we've seen from competitors, and it does function more as a complement to the desktop experience rather than a replacement for it. But it is strange to see reviews that are this mixed and this poor once you get dug into them. Many of the reviewers across both the platforms cite the app as glitchy or lament the poor customer support experience they've received. As a previous customer of Mindbody, I've had mixed experiences with customer support. Several of the reviews echo complaints that it's difficult to get in touch with Mindbody support team. I personally have experienced that as well. Many others accuse the sales team of bait and switch tactics, such as overpromising on features that are either not available or don't function as needed. Now, I can't speak to the veracity of these claims, whether or not they're true, but there are multiple reviews that do state it. That's simply what we found. Now, a bad review on its face should usually be taken with a grain of salt. And many bad reviews come down to user error, misunderstanding, or negligence on the part of the reviewer. It's only when there are many reviews that specify the same problems that those issues should actually be of concern. In Mindbody's case, despite the average review score being as high as it is, I struggled to find the overwhelming ratio of 5-star reviews in each app store. Again, like I said, until I searched back into like the mid 2010s. Once I got back as far as 2016, I started to see more and more positive reviews, and those mostly were positive reviews going back as far as 2014. It appears that the app experience has either gotten worse over the years, or that service professionals and business owners have just maybe gotten more discerning in what they deem a good professional app experience. Either way, there is a noticeable drop-off in review scores in the late 2010s and into the 2020s. As with the majority of salon software mobile booking apps, negative feedback is more prominent on Android, with users citing random crashes, constant error messages, the inability to log in, among other bugs and glitches that appear to, unfortunately, have not been fixed for a very long time, and known problems that have just not received fixes for multiple years in some cases. More than ever, service professionals rely heavily on their phones to conduct business and manage their schedules. The inability to manage appointments, check out clients, or even log into the app is just not an option for stylists and owners anymore. And to echo my sentiments from the Booker review, for such a big player in the salon and software space in 2023 and 2024, providing such a poor mobile app experience for business owners and service providers is simply unacceptable. As with the Booker mobile app, I would definitely like to see Mindbody contribute considerable, dedicated effort to fixing bugs in their app and making some meaningful upgrades to Mindbody's business functionality and stability. Business owners who pay top dollar for Mindbody's premium priced booking and management system really deserve a tool that makes their experience in the salon easier rather than adding more work or frustration to their day.
All right, so let's talk about one of the things that wasn't present on that website. Something surprising, in fact, pricing. Mindbody doesn't actually list pricing for their software on their website. You have to hop on a demo call to get that information, and I did. Now, I'm not a huge fan of hiding pricing behind a demo call. I think that gatekeeping basic information like that is not really consumer friendly. The pricing is exactly the same as Booker's, which makes it even more confusing as to why it's not listed between the brands, considering they're both under the same roof and they both offer roughly the same features. But it is what it is. So their plans start at $129. They go up to $450 and up, depending on what add-ons you choose to add on and how many emails you choose to send every month, and so on and so on. As for credit card pricing, Mindbody offers a variety of credit card processors to choose. Based on your region, you may have access to some that aren't available in others, and vice versa. But needless to say, Mindbody does offer the same sort of integrated payment solution through Mindbody Payments that Booker does. But keep in mind that Mindbody Payments is a service that is only available currently in the US and Canada. Now, instead of walking through each of the credit card processing rates based on location and card present or card not present, I'm just going to put those up on the screen for you right now. You can pause the video if you want to and get a look at those, but needless to say, again, it's the same as Booker. All right, I said in the last video how old and venerable Booker was, but wow. Mindbody makes Booker look fresh in comparison. I just want to prepare you for the 1998 Excel spreadsheet looking interface you're about to see, because it's quite a bit different than a lot of the fresher and newer options that we're seeing on the market in terms of aesthetics and navigability. This is also your warning that what you're about to see you probably won't see anywhere else, and that's because you can't access Mindbody without signing up for a year contract. Now, if you watched the Booker video, this isn't news to you. This is something that they do as well, but it's just something that I think is important for everybody as a potential business customer knows. You will be signing up for a year-long minimum contract sight unseen. So you won't even be able to click a button inside of Mindbody until you commit for a full year. I say this because it's really important that you know that you need to be 100% sure about this software before you decide to pull the trigger, because there's no backing out for at least a year after you join without committing to paying for that entire 12-month period. Now, Mindbody is technically feature complete when it comes to the features that it does offer. All of the core stuff is there. They have appointment scheduling, there's POS, there's reporting. All of those basic features are present and accessible within Mindbody. Feature for feature, on paper, Mindbody competes. And just like Booker, it has a few extra add-on features that make it pretty attractive if you go for one of the higher level plans. That includes their email marketing suite, which allows you to send automated emails and one-off email blasts to your marketing list, as well as some other cool features, including the Mindbody Explore Marketplace, where you can list your business and have it seen by highly motivated users of the Mindbody Explore app. But that's the thing about paper. Sometimes you can paint a beautiful picture, but at the end you'll still have a mess on your hands. So let's break this prospect down for a second. Mindbody's starter plan, which we tested for this review, starts at $129 per month. That'll leave you at about $1,548 for the year before any taxes and fees. But to be honest, I and Mindbody themselves don't recommend the starter plan because it lacks a lot of the features that makes Mindbody an attractive option. So let's instead say that you go for the most popular and most recommended by the representatives that we spoke to, Ultimate Plus plan, which starts at $549 a month, bringing your yearly total up to $6,588 for the year before taxes and fees. That's quite the asking price for a piece of software that you've never clicked a button in before. So let's talk additional costs, because with most salon software suites, there are additional fees to get you up and running. In this case, there are no onboarding fees, so you're not going to have to expect to pay anything on top of your monthly fees and your credit card processing fees to get you going on that first month. On top of that, there are also no data import fees, which we found rather surprising and pleasantly so. I actually made sure to confirm this with our sales rep because it seemed too good to be true, but it is, and that's definitely a plus. Now, it's a mixed bag here with pricing, as you're seeing. A, pricing is not listed and upfront for you to get, and you do have to go into the sales pipeline to get pricing information. But B, it is nice that there are no additional hidden fees associated with your monthly subscription. So we talked a little bit about data import, but let's talk about what you can and can't bring over into Mindbody. The good news is that you can bring over a lot. It varies from salon software to salon software what information can be taken over typically. And with Mindbody, you can bring over quite a bit. There's a few things that you can't bring over though, and those things might be things that you really wish you could. That includes future appointments. Yeah, just like with Booker, you can't bring over your future appointments, which means you will need to manually re-enter them into your system. That's a challenge if you're booked out for weeks or months in advance, because you could be copying dozens or hundreds or, God forbid, thousands of appointments into your brand new sparkly Mindbody account. But something that you should keep in mind, you also may not be able to bring over your client credit card information. Now, this is not entirely uncommon. Sometimes the credit card information is encrypted, or it's just simply not available to you without contacting the admins at your previous salon software company directly. So I'm not saying that you can't bring it over, but it definitely varies from software to software, so you will need to check with your Mindbody rep on whether or not that's a possibility.
All right, so let's actually hop over into the app now, and we'll take a look at the Mindbody app itself. Here we are in the Mindbody app. As you can see here, we are on the calendar screen, and it's quite a unique layout. That's one of the first things that I noticed when trying out Mindbody is it feels a little bit different definitely than Booker, and different than a lot of the other apps that we've seen as far as the layout of the calendar screen goes. You still have elements of, all the elements that you need really, but it's just laid out in a bit of a funky way that's not what we're used to with some of the other apps we've seen. Here at the, on the sidebar, this is pretty common. We've got our list of primary menu options, but directly next to that, we've got sort of this expandable or collapsible pane where you've got a calendar. You can sort of select your days and take a look at that at a glance, which is definitely helpful, but sort of an odd placement for it. We'll see why it's laid out like that shortly, but it's definitely not conventional. Okay, if we look down here at the bottom, we've got some options to print schedules, check in or check out, or to find an appointment if we want to go ahead and search for an appointment there. This will take us to a separate screen where we can search for a particular appointment. But let's go back here to the calendar screen. Here at the bottom, we've got little status indicators. This will give you a quick look at how many appointments or clients you have that are currently in each status. So on the far right here in the orange, we've got a no-show. Directly next to that, the teal, that would be completed appointments. Here in the red, we can see ones that have arrived, ones that are confirmed next to that in purple. And then in the green here, we can see appointments that are booked. So because these appointments, their start time is before the current time that we can see here with the little red line that goes across the screen, these are currently considered no-shows, right? But if these appointments were, let's just say, checked in, we mark them as arrived, you'll see that they'll change color. And here in the arrived column at the bottom, you'll see that color changes to correspond with this appointment right here. So let's say we want to book an appointment here on the schedule. We'll go over to Jamie's schedule here and see if we can squeeze in an appointment. So you'll see that if you single click on the schedule, your options aren't immediately to book an appointment here on the pop-up menu that pops up next to the side here. This is sort of unusual. Typically, when you click on a calendar in any salon software app, the first option will be to book an appointment. Not the case in Mindbody. When you click on the schedule, the first option that you see pop up is to either edit today's schedule, edit the weekly schedule, or mark a stylist as unavailable. If you want to actually book an appointment, you'll notice that when I click on the schedule, it actually opens up a search bar here on the left side of the screen under where the calendar is. So here we can actually search for a client and book them. So let's just say, for instance, it's one of our test clients here. We're going to go ahead and book them for an appointment. We click on them and that'll pop up with some quick details for that client where we can book an appointment or even rebook a past visit if they've been to us before. So in this case, let's just say that they're coming in for a small tattoo. This is a tattoo studio test demo that we're doing here. But for all intents and purposes, usage will be the same for a salon or any other business. So in this case, we have the option to book a particular appointment. We can note whether a stylist is requested right here. That will be, the name here will always be whichever stylist we have currently clicked on. Below that, we can see the start time and the length of the appointment. We can adjust the length of the appointment here. We can also adjust the start time. The end time will remain firm because that will change based on how much time you put that here. You'll also see that there's a message that pops up, a little caution here that the appointment length has been overridden, to give you a clear, quick glance at that information. And then we can add any notes if we want to. So if in this case, let's just say this particular client has a tender scalp, we can say they have a tender scalp. And apparently they're getting a small tattoo design. So that's really important. So we're going to use gentle products there. We can choose to book a recurring appointment here if we want to as well by clicking on that option, or we can add another appointment here at the bottom by clicking that option. Instead, we're going to go ahead and just book that appointment. Now that appointment will be booked on the schedule. All those options that were displayed here in that left pane are going to be gone. And we'll see that that appointment is marked here in green, and here on the status indicator is marked as booked. Now, let's say we want to check that client out. They've come in, they finished their small tattoo, they're going to get checked out. If we single click on the appointment, we've got an entirely different set of options than if we were just to single click on the calendar in a blank spot. So now you can see in the pop-up menu, we've got options for checkout, for adding retail, to early cancel, mark confirmed, mark arrived, reschedule, modify, or pre-book for another appointment. In this case, we're going to keep it simple. We'll check them out. This will pop up with a checkout pane here in the bottom right side of the screen. You'll see that it pops up with all of the appointments that they have not yet checked out for. So because they're marked down on Piotr's schedule here as well for a black work tattoo, you'll see that that is also an option to add to the cart. You'll see it's actually highlighted right here to add to the cart. So this is where the add to cart functionality is sort of helpful. If they have multiple services with multiple stylists and they're only checking out for one and not for the other, you do have the option to just check out a particular one. So in this case, let's say that they are done with their small tattoo design and we're just going to check that one out. This one is grayed out here with a check mark, which is essentially because we checked it out from that appointment. That's the one that's guaranteed to be checked out. We can't uncheck that one here. So we're going to add that to cart. And let's just say we want to add a product for them as well. We can click on that little products tab. We'll add some ointment here. That'll drop that right in the cart. And then we can choose to check out. In this case, we'll say that we're going to process it as cash. We can see the total amount listed here. Great. And we'll just say that they're going to pay with $70 in cash. And the sale will be marked as completed. It'll list what the change amount is here. We can also see that we have receipt options to email or print a receipt as well, which is very convenient. We can also choose if we're going to print one, if we want to do a signature slip, customer copy, gift receipt, that sort of thing. Convenient checkout options. And now our test client here is checked out, and we'll see that they've moved from green over into the blue column for completed. So as we can see on the calendar screen here, it's pretty simple overall, just laid out a little bit differently than you typically see in some of the other salon spa software apps that we're accustomed to. It has all of the basic functionality that you would typically see where you've got your brightly colored appointments, a bit of a utilitarian sort of drab look to the rest of the menu with our grays, browns, and darker grays here. But I will say that I do like this view here on the left where we can view in increments of 10 or 15 minutes, that sort of thing. It might be a bit overcomplicated, but you can also change the increments that are visible here. So if you want to make it a little bit simpler, you can do that as well. We'll also see at the top here that there is a client search option. So here you can add a new client, or you can type in a client name to search for them. You'll also see that there's recently viewed clients listed here, sort of a quick access list that's convenient. On the far right here, we've got some menu options. We can click on the bullhorn here. This is where any notifications will be displayed. If we click on the question mark over here, we can go to the Mindbody support page, their software training page, their community page, or directly contact them if we choose to. If you do click on the contact us option, it'll take you to a customer support page where you can contact them by email. You can email them by filling out this form here and upload any files you want to, or you can call them by phone on the corresponding number for your general geographic area. Another option here at the top, we have the time clock. So here you can clock in, clock out, that sort of thing, or clock others in and out if you're a manager. As well, on the far right here, we've got the option to look at your account. So here you can see your account information, you can review your subscription, or you can log out. Let's go ahead and take a look at the home option here. So on this home dashboard, this will give you a snapshot into some of the core business insights. So for instance, the amount of sales you've had this month, the amount of clients you served, as well as your utilization. So this will tell you how well utilized your stylists are by the hours worked and the amount of clients that they are seeing. Here you can also see some utilization metrics. This is essentially the total booked out time of the available hours that is regardless of appointment status. And it won't include classes or any time that's marked out on the schedule where a stylist is unavailable. You can see here under the utilization breakdown, it'll break it down by hours essentially. So hours scheduled versus hours remaining. You can see here we're very low in terms of utilization because this is a test account and we're just booking a few appointments here for demonstration purposes. You can also see a breakdown of today's schedule. So this will show you any classes or appointments that are listed on the schedule, their time, the service, and who they're scheduled with. And this is actually really interesting. So on the right here, there is a sort of a window for clients at risk. So this is intended to give you an idea of when clients are at risk of leaving. It'll also give you some reasons why. The information that Mindbody uses to gather this information or to sort of give you a heads up is not entirely clear. I'm not entirely sure what the metrics they use to clarify that information are, but it is really interesting because it can give you some insight potentially into clients that may be at risk of moving on to a different salon, but it can be useful to you in giving you an idea of which clients may be likely to move on from your business. This setup checklist is going to be beneficial while you're getting started. This will help you set up your staff, set up some classes, appointments, put your pricing information in. These are all tasks to sort of get you on that road to being ready to launch. You can see here it's everything from just logging into your Mindbody site to creating your setup goal here, adding business details, adding staff, that sort of thing. So just a series of setup tasks that you could sort of keep an eye on in this checklist. It's really helpful while you're getting set up for the first time and helps you stay on track. If we go over to the client directory, here we see we have lots of options to sort of look for our clients. We can narrow down our client search by a ton of variables. So whether we just want to look at active clients, inactive clients, or all of them, we can narrow down by gender. We can narrow down by membership status. We've also got client types here listed on the right. So child, parent, or senior. We've also had the ability to look for clients that have alerts or have a contract or clients that are tagged for a particular item. Likewise, we can narrow down by profile creation date or first contact date or even close date. These are probably more useful for businesses that have contracts or, memberships, that kind of thing, more so than just your average salon business. But there are, like I said, just a ton of options here. Let's take a look at the point of sale here. So here is where we can take a look at clients that are not yet checked out, essentially. So on this point of sale screen, this is sort of another view where you can see a particular client and their services that are booked. Here we can see that one of their services is paid for, but they have 2 total for the date selected, and the total amount of services, the services they currently owe. If we go, let's just say, for instance, to add an item here, essentially create an invoice, which is really what this interface is like. It's more like an invoice than it is a POS. There is a lot of information on screen here to process. This is not my favorite way to check out a client, and it's actually kind of clunky and not really ideal for your standard service business, in my opinion. I wouldn't recommend using this over just checking out directly from the calendar for a standard salon business, but you do have the option to use this interface if you so choose. I find it a bit old school. It looks like it came straight out of 1999, and it's just not our preferred way of checking out a client. But let's go ahead and move on from the point of sale screen here. We also have some reporting insights here. So there's an insights menu where you can take a look at reports, whether that's, sales reports, payment processing reports, virtual wellness, which is sort of like where you can look at your live streamed classes if that's something that you offer in your business. There's plenty of client reports as well. There are no doubt tons of data analysis options in Mindbody, but I do find them to be a little bit clunky, a little bit unintuitive. They do look a little bit old school. It's not as polished as some of the other newer salon and spa software apps that we're seeing, and the interface is a little bit on the old school side. Either way, it is a useful tool to have. If you want to take the time and learn how to use it, it's definitely there for you. Let's go ahead and take a look at, beyond just reports, some of the analytics. So on the analytics screen here, you have a dashboard where you can look through your sales, your online bookings, active members for memberships, attendance, that sort of thing. So this is a great at-a-glance view to look at your information based on a single location or multiple locations. Really, really helpful, just at-a-glance analytics screen. We're seeing this more and more in salon software apps, so good to see that they have it here in Mindbody as well. We also have a client acquisition menu. So this sort of ties into your Mindbody marketplace listing we talked about earlier. So just like with Booker, you can create a Mindbody marketplace listing where you list your business and the services you offer, and people who use the app can look for businesses that use Mindbody or use Booker. Here is your client acquisition menu. And this acquisition menu essentially allows you to see how many new clients discover you through your marketplace and the dollar amount of sales from new clients that you're getting from the marketplace. So this is a nice little view to sort of get an idea of your ROI from your Mindbody marketplace listing. In this case, we can see it broken down by in-person bookings versus through the Mindbody app or through the Mindbody marketplace via web browser. Likewise, we can see that broken down in the sales here. You can also take a look at intro offers that you offer here. So if you are using an intro offer that you have listed on the Mindbody marketplace, you'll see how many people opted to do that, as well as new client profiles that are created during a selected date range here on the far right. There's also a first visit report, which is kind of neat here. This is where you can get a closer look at your first time visitors, learn who they are, how they found you, that sort of thing. Again, very similar menu system to what we've seen before. You'll see that new client appointments are listed down here, and you can sort of see like the booking method, what service they came in for, who they saw, and some other basic information about them, as well as like how many visits they've had since their first visit. Definitely a helpful screen to see just to give you a bit of a better idea if you're capitalizing on your first visits and if those clients are coming back. Let's take a look at the marketing suite now. So now in this particular demo account, we are on the lowest level plan that Mindbody offers. So we don't have the full marketing suite available to us. So when we click on the marketing suite, this is what we'll see, right? So we're going to see some advertising here for the Mindbody marketplace, and we'll see some affiliate network options here too. Whether you want to be booked through Google or through another third-party platform, you'll see that. So if we visit the marketplace dashboard, let's take a peek here. So this is your marketplace metrics overview. This will sort of give you an idea of your total bookings and sales and new clients through the Mindbody marketplace. You'll also see your marketplace listing preview here. So this is essentially a preview of what your marketplace listing looks like in the Mindbody app when potential clients look at your business page. Under the Enhance Your Visibility heading here, you can see some recommended actions for your business. So that might be, fleshing out your business information on your profile, or promoting, an intro offer for your business, essentially marketing tactics to help make sure that your business is seen and that you can get new clients coming in through your door and making the most of your Mindbody listing. And under the Drive More Revenue heading, you can see another few options here that'll help your business and whether or not they're turned on. So whether that's an intro offer, using an affiliate network, using dynamic pricing so that you can sort of capitalize on your most successful services or classes, that sort of thing. There's plenty of options available to you there. All right, and on the add-on services menu option here, we can see the partner store. This is what we took a look at earlier. This will show you, third-party integration apps that you can integrate directly with Mindbody. You can also see the branded web option. This essentially allows you to create a direct first-party seamless online booking experience. So this essentially allows you to build widgets into your website so that clients can go to your website and book directly rather than clicking on a book now link that takes them to a Mindbody hosted page that's on Mindbody's site, essentially. So this is sort of how to create a one-stop shop directly from your website. A lot of businesses prefer this. I highly recommend this. It's a much better option than having, a simple book now button that goes to, another page hosted on another site. It's kind of jarring for customers to sort of click away from your website to book an appointment. I'm not a big fan of it. Some apps include that directly. A lot of the salon software that we see now has an option to directly incorporate code onto your website without having to pay extra for their branded web tools. With Mindbody and with Booker, that is an optional extra that you would need to pay for. But here, if we take a look down the page, you can sort of see the experience you can get where you can brand everything with your logo. You can customize the colors to fit your brand as well, and just create a more seamless booking experience. You also have the option to create a branded app. So this is an actual smartphone app that you can create in partnership with Mindbody that your clients can download on the Apple App Store or on the Google Play Store on Android. And this will essentially allow them to book directly through this custom built app that's custom themed for you and your business. This potentially has upside. I can see that working for some businesses that are larger. For your average salon or spa, I don't know that it offers a ton of upside. It's just another app that, we have a million apps on our phone. Your clients may not want to download another app just to book an appointment with you. But let's just say, for instance, you are a fitness or education business and you're offering a ton of classes, online courses, that sort of thing. Let's say you're live streaming every now and then, or you're hosting sort of video on demand content. That's really where I can see the benefit of a custom app for your clientele or for your followers, because that way you can also monetize the content you're creating. Maybe, they need to sign up for a membership to get access to your video on demand, or they need to pay to sign up for a particular course that you're live streaming. There's definitely benefit there to having a custom built app. If it's an engagement portal where it's the only place where, there's digital content that your clients can get, I can definitely see that being beneficial. If you're just a standard salon or spa business, you're not offering classes or courses or videos, then it's of limited utility and may not be, worth it for you to pay the extra for. Okay. Let's also take a look at the services and products menu. So this is where you can add things like classes. You can go in and add appointments and create new appointment type. Let's just say that we want to offer hair services now because we brought on a stylist. We can say we want to add hair services here, add that appointment type, and then under that appointment type name, so let's say here we want to select a category. Let's select hair salon. Under this subcategory, we have plenty of options here you can see. So let's just say, for instance, we want to create a long haircut service. We'll make that default booking time 60 minutes. And we want to allow clients to book this appointment online, so we'll leave that box checked right there. We can set a standard price if we want to, or choose to add pricing later. If we do add pricing later, this will show us that we want to go navigate to the service and pricing, click on appointments, then click the appointment type. In this case, let's just put a dollar value on it across the board. And what we can see here is we have revenue categories built in. This will sort of give you more accurate reporting. So in this case, we would definitely want to add a new revenue category. So we'll mark this as hair services. And then if we wanted to list an online description of what these services are, we can put that here in this box. In this case, we don't really need to. If we click on additional options, we have some more options. So if we want this to be available as an add-on service without increasing its length, we can do that. This is more so for, like, I would say, treatments that don't add time to your service, but can potentially add a dollar amount to the ticket. So maybe if it's like a conditioning treatment or a serum or something that can be added on that you do charge for as a part of a service, but wouldn't add any extra time, you would essentially select that add-on button right there. We can also add if there's a back bar charge that'll be deducted from a staff's pay for this back bar use. So this is if there's an expensive product that will be deducted from a staff's pay if they use it, that sort of thing. We can mark that here. And a few other options here: capacity, number deducted whenever the service is booked, if we want to have that be a particular a product or that sort of thing, and sort order. So let's add this appointment type here. So now that we'll see under hair services, we have that option, and the first one that we have here is for $100. In this case, if we want to go in and edit this pricing option, we can click on that option and it'll bring up this menu here where we can choose from a list of other options for the service. In this case, we don't need to. So in this case, since we have the hair services category, this actually should likely be renamed. So we're going to resave that as a long haircut. Now we can see that that is the option, has a proper price established here. And now this should be a bookable service. Over on the courses tab, you can add course categories. So this is when a staff member offers a service to multiple clients at once. If you want to be able to book, essentially a course where 10 people can join, that sort of thing, you can do that. Courses are different from classes. So clients are encouraged to enroll in all instances of a course. So this will typically be when there's multiple classes for an overarching course, essentially. This will also have an established start and end date. Classes themselves are separate. They still allow you to book multiple clients per class, but a class repeats regularly and clients can book a single class without committing to an entire course of classes. So that's a differentiation there. You can set up both of those here in the services and products menu. If we go to the retail products tab, this will essentially give you a search interface where you can search for categories or specific names of products. You can also add new products here by clicking on the add new product button, where you can fill in the name, price, you can fill in your wholesale cost, add a barcode if you want to, assign categories. You can choose whether or not you want to sell the product online, as well as establish your inventory, what you currently have in stock, and any manufacturer IDs or suppliers that you have set up. You can also specify membership settings. So if you only want members to be able to purchase a particular product, that sort of thing, you can set that here. And you can also specify if you want member discounts to apply to a particular product. Likewise, you can establish product commissions. So you can say whether or not a staff member will receive a commission for selling a product. And you can also specify any additional information you want on the product here at the bottom, add and save. Pricing menu here will allow you to establish and edit prices that you have for services. This is a really easy way to say if you need to update your entire pricing menu, go through each and change them on one screen instead of having to sort of click into each individual service and change them one by one. And the final menu here in the services and products menu is contracts. So this is, again, not super relevant for salons and spas. This would allow you to sort of bill clients for services on a recurring basis. And you can also manage those contracts here on this screen. Different than memberships, but similar concept. Here under the staff screen, you can see all of the staff members and any of their contact information that you have for them listed here as well. And you can also click on the three dots here to manage their appointment types, their schedules, manage their class pay rates if they teach classes, or just edit their staff profile. So quick access to that sort of thing. Let's just say we wanted to add a particular service category for Brent here. We can go into his appointment setup screen, and then we can add a particular appointment type that they can offer. Maybe Brent is now offering haircuts. We can add that in there, and we can also customize his standard timing and whether or not there's prep time or finish time. So let's just say, for instance, that he has a 10-minute finish time for this one for whatever reason. We can do that. We can also assign a pay rate here. So whether that's percentage or flat pay rate, we can assign. And now Brent should be able to book that service. So on the settings screen here, you'll see some additional tools that are broken down into subcategories. So whether that's marketing or client acquisition or staff, client, pricing, or even add-ons, this will sort of give you quick access to a lot of the menus that you may need to set up. So if you want to edit membership settings here, you can click on that, go into your membership settings, change the icons that show in the system, change the name or create new memberships by clicking add new here on the side. And you can also set specific things like what the membership discount for retail is, or whether or not online booking is restricted for certain services to members only, that sort of thing. If we want to create a new membership, we can click over here on the add new. And this will allow us to, gives us all the same options essentially, but it'll allow you to create a new membership right there. And at the bottom here, you'll see an edit option on that left pane. This will essentially allow you to add or remove options from that side panel. So let's just say, for instance, we do teach courses or classes. We could sort of enable that, and now that would be visible on that left side of the screen on that quick access panel. Likewise, if you want to add like custom links, that sort of thing, we can add that on there. This is just some minor customization that we can add to that menu. And back at the settings screen here, there is a list of more settings. So this will give you an even more expanded set of options here. You'll notice that some of the options are grayed out. For instance, this custom field here. So this is because we don't have the proper Mindbody subscription level for it, right? So we're not on the, for instance, like Ultimate or Ultimate Plus plan that would give us access to some of these more advanced features. So when you click on any of those grayed out options, it will tell you that you don't have access to the feature because you're not on that upgraded plan, and give you the option to upgrade to that plan. So for instance, on this plan, this starter plan that we have, we only have access to product sizes and colors. We can't add suppliers or payment terms, that sort of thing. Likewise, we don't have access under our retail settings to closeout data. And under client settings, we can't establish client types or client statuses. Anyway, lots more options available to you there. All right, and that about wraps up all of the basic functions of the Mindbody app. All right, and let's pop back into the appointment screen here for a second. Some other basic functions work as you'd expect them to. Let's just say we do want to move an appointment up or down here on the screen. We can choose to click and drag it to a new time, and we'll be presented with a message here at the top that asks us to confirm. We can say yes, and the appointment will be moved. Standard, what you'd expect. It is really important to make sure you do hit that OK button or cancel it if you don't want to make that change, because otherwise the change won't stick, but just something to keep in mind there. If we want to cancel an appointment, we can click on it here, and we can click on early cancel here. If it's an early cancel, it'll give you a little pop-up here letting you know that you're agreeing to an early cancellation and you don't wish to charge a fee essentially for a no-show. You can do that right there. Likewise, we can also mark an appointment as confirmed from here. We can mark an appointment as arrived as well. We can modify an appointment by clicking on this button right here. This will pop up into a separate menu where you can make changes to, who they're seeing, what the service category is, that sort of thing. You can change most of the details about the appointment. You can even add an image for your client here if you so choose. Likewise, we can choose to pre-book an appointment if we want to. So let's just say this client is a regular. They're coming in again for another appointment or they're planning on it in the near future. You can choose to rebook a past visit essentially from a previous time they came in. So maybe they want to come in and do another small tattoo design, that sort of thing. We can choose that. And we can choose a date on the calendar. So let's just say that they want to come in next month. We've got this particular service selected. And we're going to click on Marlon's schedule. It'll automatically drop that appointment there on the schedule. You can make adjustments on the pane here, just like you did earlier, and hit book. And you'll see that that new appointment is booked on the date you selected with a confirmation message here at the top. To get back to today on the calendar, you can click this Today button at the top, and that'll take you to today's schedule. All right, and that about wraps up all the basic functions of Mindbody. Hope this was useful. Hope it was helpful to you. Let's pop back to me in real life and wrap up our conclusions.
Okay, let's talk final thoughts. Overall, Mindbody's desktop experience is functional, but it's a bit messy and unintuitive. But let's start with the good first. As with Booker, Mindbody's marketing suite is one of the few genuinely great innovations to come out of the software in the past few years, and it is genuinely useful when paired with some of the other features that Mindbody offers. Likewise, the Mindbody Marketplace is a great opportunity to market your business online and get reach that your business may not otherwise have included with the cost of your software. And honestly, just as was the case with Booker, Mindbody feels really old and clunky and a little bit half-baked considering how long it's been around, especially for salon use. I say that because while features that are oriented towards fitness and wellness businesses seem to have greatly expanded in the past 10 to 20 years within the Mindbody app, features that are for spas and salons really haven't. And as a piece of salon software so long in the works, the user experience and interface seemingly are considerably worse than in its sister software, Booker. Even simple actions in the app, like booking an appointment or checking one out, include several extra steps and navigating through semi-unintuitive menus to get to where you want to go, which is an issue that Booker has seemingly sidestepped with their more streamlined app. And I hate to sound like a broken record, but just like with Booker, years of status quo software experience and little to no advancement in terms of salon or spa specific features or even minor quality of life improvements make this a really hard recommendation for salons in 2023. Or 2024 for that matter. And beyond that, Mindbody is flat out expensive. You're looking at a roughly minimum $2,000 investment for that year-long contract at the low end, all the way up to about $7,000. For that price, and with such a restrictive contract, the software experience had better be premium. And I mean really premium. And in terms of potential growth, on the surface, Mindbody looks like that's something they may be able to offer. When it comes to the Mindbody Explorer app, Mindbody claims that they have over 100,000 users. That's a ton of people who committed to downloading the app and are potentially looking for services that you provide in your area. But, and this is a big but, you are competing with every other Mindbody and Booker customer in your area on that app. that's something to consider, because if you are in a more congested area that does have a lot of businesses and a lot of businesses that are using Mindbody or Booker, you are directly up against them to get your business seen. Now, Mindbody didn't go into detail with me on how exactly their algorithm works, but I will say that the more businesses there are in your area that are offering your services, the less novel that marketplace becomes. Okay, so who is Mindbody for, and who do we recommend it to? Look, we talked in the Booker review about how the marketing opportunities provided by the Mindbody suite and the AI assistant features could be potentially really helpful for growing businesses who want to establish themselves and be able to field inquiries when their doors aren't open. But those are no different between the two apps. The real differentiator here between Mindbody and really any other software suite on the market is the ability to monetize classes and courses, to live stream, to host video on demand, and to create a custom app that your clients can potentially use. Now, whether those features are actually valuable to most salons, that's debatable. But if you want to host your video content online and be able to monetize it, or if you are a class-based business, you're teaching courses that you want to be able to show and charge for, then Mindbody just might be a great option for you. That said, if we are talking specifically about salons and the majority of salons, there are just so many other options on the market that I would recommend above Mindbody. If you want to see our entire detailed list of the best salon software on the market for 2024, make sure to check out that link in the description below. And if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and drop us a like if you liked what you saw today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great day. You deserve it because you make so many other people's day every day. I'll talk to you soon.